Okay, so this is my classroom, room 27. We come in, have like a little birthday wall with the month's birthdays. This is kind of some like posters about how to just be a good student and be safe, respectful, that good stuff. This is my para's name, and because this is the table that she sits at when she works with small groups, we move over to my sound wall and my vowel valley with visuals that I can reference when I'm working with my students or my para can. And then just some like papers, organizational stuff. Have a little task box here. This is my math den. The students that I work with are ages TK through second grade. So it's a good visual with the 10 frames and some shapes just so they can see, also a good reference when we do math. More organizational stuff, big visual timer. I use this every single day with my small groups, and it's just great. I use it, love it. Just have some like quick like assessment pages where I can just pull if I'm assessing on goals and whatnot. This is my main workspace when I work with small groups or like individual one-on-one. This is more like visuals, sound visuals when I work with the students. And then this is my name up here. Have like a little sticker chart that I use when my students are on task and just like have great days. I allow them to choose a sticker on their way out the door. And then this is like my own personal space over here. That's really messy. I've been out sick early this week, so coming in and just kind of like, yeah, it's a mess. But typically I'm very organized. More just like visuals about integrity, courage, just some like nice things. Have my diploma back there. I have this large sticky note Post-it pad that I use when I work with, like, I do group work here sometimes, big group lessons, which is great to have that. This is my board. I do have some student names on the board. Probably shouldn't. I apologize for that, but have just like my para schedule, different things like that. Usually I have lo-fi on my TV playing just to like kind of give a calming environment. I love listening to lo-fi, but my Wi-Fi in here I'm all the way at the end of my campus, so sometimes the Wi-Fi just cuts out. I have some alternative seating here, have some cushions they like to sit on. I have some wobble chairs that are really important and like a fan favorite of my students. I also have this little chair with some emotional support fries that my students love. They come out, so they each can choose one to kind of hold on to during their time with me. I have my little days of the week visual. I always make sure I'm up to date on what the day is, the date, so that my older students, my first and second graders, can get used to writing their name and today's date on all their worksheets that they do. Have little days of school countdown. And then I have my ABC ASL visuals up here. I am a big advocate for incorporating like baby sign language and ASL and as much language as we can just to have that reinforcement. I did work in a special day class last year, so it's kind of just like carryover habit of what I had. Over here, this is me. This is my little like play, quiet, calm down corner. So my classroom theme is jungle theme, and then our school mascot is the tigers, so I really like this visual here. I have a little like affirmation station. My kids love to come over here and like point to each little visual and ask me like to read them for them. And then there's a mirror here where they kind of just can look at themselves, look at each other, say it, and it's really great. I have just like some play, dramatic play stuff, this like super nice wooden tea set. Most of my younger kids have like social interaction goals where it's interact with the peer for, I don't know, 3 to 5 consecutive minutes. So with my younger kids, I really try and stress dramatic play, structured play into their days. This is kind of like another alternative seating thing that some of my kids love. This is my little SEL corner. I love the zones of regulation, something that I carried over from my SEC last year. And so I have a few students that have some pretty significant behavioral challenges. And so they use my room as a break. And so whenever they come in escalated, we try and reinforce how they're feeling, point to, what color are you feeling, stuff like that. And this is a visual chart that I created last year that I carried over as well. Just different ways that they can ask for a break, different coping mechanisms that they can, use when they're feeling anything but green. And even when they're green, if they need a break, like I definitely want to reward them for communicating that they need a break verbally or with sign language instead of acting out or acting on their behavioral challenges. Like if they ask for a break, I'm definitely wanting to give them what they're asking for in moderation, obviously, but it's very important to me that my students feel heard. And if they ask for something, I want them to know that I listen to them. So this is more just like organization space stuff. And then I have a large time where not for my younger kids, but my older students, we will get there once their gen ed curriculum kind of hits telling time and whatnot. Have just another visual, mistakes make us mighty. I really am big on visuals, saying slogans. I'm very much a person that thrives when I'm confident in a confident environment. And so when I walk into my class, I really want to make sure that every student feels confident and comfortable and willing to make mistakes, because that's ultimately how we learn and grow. And then all of this stuff is just more materials, resources, some magnets, whiteboards, more whiteboards. I love using whiteboards because the kids love to interact in that way. These are my favorite. They're just little ABC magnets. We can work on CVC words, sounding out words, little Elkin boxes, and then each one has 6 different mats that you can flip depending on what we're going to work on, sounds and whatnot. Have some one-to-one correspondence activities with ice creams, a lot of shapes, a lot of counting manipulatives, which is great because I use them almost every single day, but I just have way too many. And then just more activities. These are some body awareness, body movement cards, and stuff. And this is a word wall, bunch of sight words, bunch of high frequency words. And yeah, so that's kind of it. In terms of seating, this has been what's helped me the most. The largest group I have is groups of 5. And so I wanted to have a space where I can pull small groups, individuals, but I also wanted a space where I can separate them if needed because some of them are pretty chatty. I also use some dividers sometimes here just to keep them focused, not as a punishment. And that's something I really make sure they understand is I'm not punishing you by putting these up. It's we're here to learn. And if that means I have to put up a divider so that you can focus on what you're doing, then you can go out and chat with your friends during recess. So yeah, two kidney tables. I'd love to have another, but unfortunately we don't have one on campus. I have a desk here. This is for one of my students, my most high need student, Jasper. He has his own desk. Everybody knows don't touch anything that's on the desk. Don't touch any of his things. He has his own visual timer. This is his place. Nobody touches it. And then another small table. So yeah, so this is my classroom. I hope that this is a good demonstration of kind of the space that I have when I work with my students. I really am trying to support them in any way I can. Trying to differentiate instruction, working closely with their gen ed teachers, just trying to work with them on what they need. So thank you.